This video will demonstrate how to assemble the frame for the Efco Storefront door system. The purpose of this guide is to show how each component connects together to form a complete, ready-to-install door frame. You'll find three primary parts: the hinge jamb, the strike jamb, and the frame head. Inside the frame head, you'll also find the 4-inch threshold, packaged neatly for protection. Looking closely at the frame head, you'll notice the pivot hinge hardware is already pre-installed at the factory. The head also includes the bottom floor pivot bracket, which aligns with the jamb base and connects directly to the threshold. This design ensures both the top and bottom pivots remain perfectly aligned during installation. Next, let's identify each component. The jamb with the strike hole cutout is the strike jamb. Near the top, you'll see 6 pre-drilled holes, which indicate the top end. The opposite jamb, which does not have a strike prep, is your hinge jamb, also known as the pivot jamb. It too has 6 pre-drilled holes near the top to identify orientation. The frame head is the shorter horizontal piece and includes the upper pivot hinge pre-assembled. Lay out all components on a flat, stable surface with the frame stop and weather strip facing upward. On both ends of the frame head, you'll see notches. These are designed to accept the jamb extrusions. Slide each jamb into those notches until fully seated and flush with the head. When everything is correctly positioned, the pre-drilled screw holes will align perfectly. This is where you'll use the Efco frame assembly hardware. In your hardware pack, you'll find screws for both the frame assembly and the pivot hinge. For connecting the head to the jambs, use 6 screws total, 3 on each side. Each screw threads into the reinforced channel inside the jamb extrusion. Start each one by hand to confirm alignment. Then tighten evenly to secure both corners of the frame. Next, attach the bottom pivot assembly. This component aligns directly beneath the top pivot that's already installed in the head. Slide the bottom pivot bracket into the machined notch at the base of the jamb and fasten it with the supplied screws. The precision fit ensures the bracket locks into position securely. On the opposite side of the frame, install the threshold support bracket in the same way. Slide it into the notch, align it flush, and tighten the screws. Now it's time to install the threshold. When you purchase an Efco Storefront door system from Door Closers USA, your threshold arrives pre-notched, pre-drilled, and prepped for the pivot hardware. This eliminates the need for any field notching or cutting, saving time and ensuring perfect fitment right out of the box. If you've ever worked with standard threshold extrusions, you know they typically require field modification to fit around pivots. The Efco pre-notched threshold simplifies the entire process for a clean, factory-aligned installation. On the pivot side, you'll see 2 notches in the threshold that correspond with the pivot hinge hardware. Slide the threshold into place beneath both jambs. There are 3 countersunk holes total, 2 on the pivot side and 1 on the strike side, for attaching the threshold to the frame. Once everything is aligned, secure the threshold using the provided screws. On the strike jamb side, you'll notice a single notch near the top. Slide that end into its support bracket and tighten the screws. When complete, your frame and threshold assembly should feel rigid, square, and ready for installation. During installation, you'll notice 3 countersunk holes in the threshold designed for anchoring the frame to the floor. Floor fasteners are not included, as the proper anchors depend on the surface type, whether concrete, tile, or another substrate. Choose the correct fasteners for your application to ensure stability. At this stage, your Efco Storefront door frame is fully assembled.